Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW
So all
West
these donations that
Texas.
Coco made are very important to our clients because we do run off of just donations for the center. So this will help tremendously in providing the needs of our babies and the moms.
A 7-year-old in Andrews is using her hard-earned money to buy clothing, strollers, and cradles for a local nonprofit. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll tell you how she raised the funds. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Laura Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. A Midland man was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his role in 2 fatal fentanyl deaths. 39-year-old William Childers sold counterfeit oxycodone pills that contained fentanyl. Officials say this led to the death of 2 West Texas men. Here's a timeline. In May 2022, the Winkler County Sheriff's Office were called about a death at a home in Kermit. And then in May 2023, the Midland Police Department found a man unconscious at home. He died on the way to the hospital. Both deaths were confirmed to be caused by fentanyl poisoning. Investigators were able to trace the fentanyl pills to Childers. He will spend 20 years in prison. And take a look at this. A tank battery fire has been burning near Pecos since this morning. CBS7 first noticed the column of smoke around 10 a.m. on our weather cameras. Fortunately, I should say, there have been no reports of injuries, and first responders are on scene working to extinguish those fires.
It was preliminary reported that it was a flare stack that caused the fire, which eventually spread to some of the tanks within the tank battery. At the last update, there was about 9 tanks that were involved in the fire, and crews were waiting for a safe approach in order to address the fire.
We will keep you updated if any new developments become available. Here in Odessa, we've got a developing story for you. Last night, the City Council had a workshop to discuss fixing the city's water infrastructure. City Manager John Beckmeyer says there are 2 big water pipeline projects, one planned for Lancaster and the other for 42nd. He also says they combed through budgets to find the funding needed.
I know I'll be happy to be able to tell everybody we do have a plan in place that hasn't been in place before.
I'm not looking back at other councils or other administrations, but I know this is my problem and we're going to find a way to fix it, and this is the first step.
Many of Odessa's water lines date back to 70 years or older. Now, the city of Odessa has not released exact plans yet for these projects. Speaking of Odessa, we've got some election news for you. Today, West Texas native Cal Hendrick announced that he's running for Odessa mayor. With 29 years of trial law experience and 15 years as a mediator and currently working as a risk manager for an insurance company, his campaign is based on the idea that he thinks he can identify problems and craft tailored solutions for the needs of Odessans. If elected, Hendrick says he'll focus on improving the city's water, roads, and trash issues.
Some other platforms that Hendrick is writing on include building relationships with organizations like the Black Chamber of Commerce and LULAC, addressing the shortage of police and fire personnel, and doing something about the fentanyl overdose crisis and border-related drug and crime issues. Hendrick says that once these needs are met, he'll turn his focus to address social issues, something that he says the current administration spends too much time on.
I'm not a politician. I don't want to be. All I want to do is serve my people, right? I want to serve Odessa.
Hendrick says that once all of the infrastructure issues have been addressed, his next focus will be on transparency and openness with members of the community.
This person in Odessa is a good person, but they work hard, they take care of their family. There's no time in the day for all this rigmarole. So y'all have to, I think when I say y'all, the media, have to go out there and show it in an honest and open fashion that, hey, this really is a problem. Or maybe it's not a problem. Maybe if it's not, let's report it.
Some other platforms that Hendrick is writing on include building relationships with organizations like the Black Chamber of Commerce and LULAC, addressing the shortage of police and fire personnel, and doing something about the fentanyl overdose crisis and other border-related drug and crime issues. If you're interested in learning more about Hendrick's campaign promises, you can visit our website, CBS7.com. And be sure to tune in to CBS7 next Tuesday as we take a look at current Odessa Mayor Javier Hoven and his run for re-election. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather with Chief Meteorologist Tom Tieferteller. Tom?
Well, wrapping up a pretty quiet day. We did see a few showers out there, but currently the radar shows everything winding down with the sun setting and the loss to daytime heating. Rainfall amounts, so were spotty across West Texas. Just some light amounts of 3/100ths in Ozona and Alpine. Ruidoso, 15/100ths. That was at Sierra Blanca Airport. But in town, though, upwards to 1 to 3 inches of rain came down rather quickly, about an hour to hour and a half time frame. So they had plenty of flash flooding there, especially towards the Ruidoso Downs area in the burn scars from the wildfires they had a couple of weeks ago. Looks like that threat's going to continue in the forecast there across Lincoln County and south central New Mexico. As temperatures today, well, we're up to 93 out at the Miller National Air and Spaceport, 94 at Midland Air Park and Big Spring, so plenty of hot spots out there. Currently, we're cooling off a little bit into the mid to upper 80s across many locations, and it looks like it's going to be another mild overnight. Temperatures into the lower 70s, and it's going to be more the same tomorrow. Mid-90s, isolated thunderstorm chances hanging around in our forecast.
And as those temperatures continue to rise across West Texas, what better way to keep cool than with an ice cold glass of lemonade? If that just made your mouth water just thinking about it, then take a drive to Andrews, where a young businesswoman is serving lemonade with a side of charity. 7-year-old Coco Payares has been raising money for local charities for 2 years now, just by setting up a lemonade stand in her own front yard. But the entrepreneur doesn't keep the money for herself. Instead, she donates it to local organizations. And this year, that organization is the Andrews Life Center.
It's a good sign that she has a good heart and that, later down the road, she might do something that, helps people. I mean, she's doing it now, so yeah, it's really nice to see.
According to her father, this year was the biggest lemonade stand yet, with Coco raising $500 in just 1 hour of sales, a record that will hopefully be broken next year as Coco's Lemonade supports another nonprofit. In Midland, the city has launched 2 new ways for residents to have their voices heard by city officials. The first is an app called See Click Fix. It's a new citizen reporting platform where Midlanders can report things like plot holes, graffiti, and streetlight outages directly from your phone. And Ask Jackie is actually a chat bot that is built into the City of Midland's website. It can help you find things like city services, event schedules, and even more.
This app is a lot more responsive. Citizens can comment and see the comments back from staff on where their status is of their ticket.
Both of these are going to help us to better interface with community members who have questions and concerns about the city, to really open up communication channels and give them a better opportunity to talk to us about the things that they see that need to be addressed.
You can download the See Click Fix app by scanning the QR code right on your screen. Some local sports news for you now. Tonight, West Texas FC and Laredo Heat SC are battling it out in the first playoff game of the season. This comes after West Texas finished as the top team in the Lone Star Conference with a record of 7 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. And the most goals scored, the team is also riding a 5-game winning streak. Also tonight, just feet away, the Midland Rockhounds continue their series with the Arkansas Travelers. The Hounds won the series opener 8-1. The CBS7 sports team will have updates from both of those games, plus even more local sports coverage tonight on CBS7 News at 10. And still ahead, many in Houston are still without power after Hurricane Beryl swept through the area. We'll tell you how residents are fighting the heat as they work to continue to clean up the destruction left behind. That's up next. Today, more than 130 million Americans are again facing excessive heat alerts. The remnants of Beryl also still poses a threat, creating tornadoes, and Beryl made landfall on the Gulf Coast earlier this week. Omar Villafranca is just outside Houston, where many people are still without power.
2 days after Beryl slammed into Texas as a Category 1 hurricane, more than 1.7 million customers here are still in the dark.
Once it, went out, it stayed out.
We spoke to Yvette Carrasco outside her home in Channelview. Without power, she told us, the triple-digit heat index has been unbearable.
It was hot.
Are you
and
okay?
I'm about to not be okay.
Minutes into our interview, she said she had to sit down.
When it's this hot and you don't have power, can you stay inside?
No.
With much of the West under excessive heat warnings, Carrasco is not alone. In Portland, Oregon, officials say there have been at least 5 suspected heat-related deaths since Friday. As for Beryl, the storm's remnants were still creating dangerous conditions in the Midwest on Tuesday. This tornado in Mount Vernon, Indiana, crossed into the state from western Kentucky. Watch as the violent twister caused a power transformer to explode and damage several buildings along its path. As it picks up strength, debris from nearby structures can be seen swirling in the air.
I just got missed by a tornado, guys.
Back in Houston, some Texans escaped the severe heat and humidity at local cooling centers.
This year, my complex has lost power twice without hurricanes. It seems incredibly common that the infrastructure can't handle a basic storm.
CenterPoint Energy, the main power company here, says they have restored power to 850,000 customers. That's about a third of the people who are affected by Beryl. But customers tell me they're frustrated because they can't go on CenterPoint Energy's outage map and check the status of the power in their neighborhood because that website has been offline since May from another storm. So instead, Texans are getting creative. Many have downloaded the Whataburger app, which is a popular burger place here in the state of Texas, because Whataburger has highlighted which of their stores are open and which are closed because they don't have power, and people are making guesses that if their Whataburger in their neighborhood has power, they may too. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Channelview, Texas.
Now, Texas is receiving federal funding to help with aid for Hurricane Beryl, but the aid is coming later than expected. President Biden says Texas leaders were slow to request a disaster declaration for the state. And acting Governor Dan Patrick responded to the claims, saying state officials needed to determine their needs before requesting a declaration.
Well, for West Texas, we did not see any effects from Beryl, and it looks like we're going to see a pretty quiet weather pattern. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two in the afternoon forecast should really be about it. We'll talk all about it coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, looking at the satellite and radar view at the current time, now the sun is setting. We're losing the daytime heating, so the showers, thunder showers, winding down for the time being. Continuing here, well, a couple of thunder showers in and around areas between Sheffield and Sanderson. Also near Ozona too, but everything else was really starting to die down. Just a couple of showers here and there. And looking outside on our live iCam in Odessa, not too much of even cloud cover out there, as we're seeing temperatures cool off a little bit into the upper 80s across the Midland Odessa area. 91 currently in Monahans. Here's what's going on in the upper levels. Caught between high pressure across the southwest U.S., causing those wickedly hot temperatures that have been up 120 plus in many locations in the deserts of Nevada and in Southern California. We're between that and what remains of tropical, once Hurricane Beryl, now a tropical depression, even less than that, barreling into Canada. But there's that trough of low pressure and another storm system spinning there. It's not going to affect us, but we are watching with this north to south flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Anything that pops up in the way of showers and thunderstorms across the plains, how that could move off to the south, bring us more clouds and the possibility of a few more scattered showers and thunder showers. But as we look north tonight, not seeing a lot developing out there. A little thunder shower activity northwest of Lubbock, but I think we're going to see a quiet overnight across the area. And this is some isolated stuff in our forecast for tomorrow. Temperatures across the state again, 93 out at the Miller National Air and Spaceport, all the way up to 99 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and mid-90s across portions of the Houston area, where again, a lot of people dealing without power, so very hot conditions there, especially once you add in that humidity. Our futurecast shows a quiet overnight, but then tomorrow, though, seeing some isolated stuff pop up mainly in the mountain areas. This model not too aggressive on anything really forming up across the Permian Basin or southeast of Mexico, but I think there'll be some isolated stuff out there here and there across the area coming up for your Friday. Pretty quiet overnight tonight, lower 70s, and then tomorrow about mid to upper 90s. You get an isolated shower thunderstorm not out of the question, and your CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast does show more of the same. Low to mid 90s on the way. Can't rule out an isolated shower thunderstorm, maybe a little bit better chance next week.
Those summer temperatures have you thinking of taking a vacation? Well, if not, we hear from Centers for Children and Families on why it's important, more important than you may realize.
We are in the middle of summer, which means many are looking for ways to get away. If you aren't, well, we have some good information about why vacations are so important for our well-being. Here to talk more about that is Christy Edwards with Centers for Children and Families. Christy, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us why vacations are important for our mental health?
So vacations can help prevent burnout. Regular relaxation time helps prevent burnout, making individuals more creative and productive compared to those who are overworked and under-rested. They promote overall health and well-being. Research shows that after a vacation, people experience improvements in physical complaints, sleep quality, and mood. They can also help strengthen your relationships. Spending quality time with loved ones during vacations strengthen relationships, providing support during difficult times, and enhancing the enjoyment of the good times.
So if vacations are meant to help with our mental health, why are they sometimes just so stressful?
Sure. So many times we go into our vacations with these high expectations. People often have the expectations of their dream vacation, imagining that perfect beach or lakeside experience. Unexpected occurrences like flat tires, lost luggage, unfavorable weather can lead to disappointment, anger, and being overwhelmed. So you can have uncomfortable weather like we're experiencing right now. Sweltering temperatures during vacations can contribute to overall unhappiness, and the pressure to spend time outdoors can be overwhelming for some individuals. So it can also disrupt our routine. Vacations can disrupt established routines, leading to behaviors like excessive indulgence in food, alcohol, screen time. All these things can trigger feelings of depression, regret, or guilt. So they can also cause financial stress. Overspending on vacations can cause anxiety and financial strain.
So Christy, what can we do to get the most out of our vacation and even cope with the inevitable disappointments?
Okay, I want people to hear this because we're in the middle of vacation season. Embrace imperfection. Recognize that no vacation event or outing can be perfect, and be open to accepting the ups and downs as part of the experience. Personalize your activities. Choose activities that suit your preferences and interests or those of your families, whether that involves outdoor or indoor pursuits. Don't feel pressured to conform to societal expectations. Also, maintain your family's routine. This is super important. If you thrive on a schedule, try to maintain a basic plan for daily activities, waking up at a consistent time, having a general outline for the day. Be mentally prepared for unexpected changes, understanding that it's okay, and don't let it ruin your vacation.
So what if we can't go away on a vacation?
Well, I love whoever coined the term the staycation, because many times that's what we get, right? So a staycation can be a great time to practice self-care, give yourself the time you need to rejuvenate. Explore your local area. We have great things to do here in the Permian Basin. Visit parks, museums, or other attractions near your home that give you a sense of adventure and a little bit of reset in your life. Try to set some time aside to unplug from technology, reconnect with nature. Connect with your friends and loved ones. We sometimes become too busy to maintain those important relationships. It's a great time to make time for the people we care about the most. If you've been thinking about it but haven't made the time, this is the perfect time or the perfect opportunity to set up an appointment with a therapist. This is a great way to practice self-care, receive guidance and support that might be tailored to your specific needs.
Christy Edwards with Centers for Children and Families. Christy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Matthew.
All right, before we go this morning, some of you might have noticed a beer truck at the Kahoma Fire Station. But don't worry, it wasn't a beer delivery. In a Facebook post, the Howard County Volunteer Fire Department said Anheuser-Busch and A&B Distributing, in partnership with the National Volunteer Fire Council and the American Red Cross, generously donated 2,600 cans of drinking water to the fire department. They say the donation ensures members have access to drinking water while responding to incidents throughout the year.
And that's going to be kind of important this time
Especially,
of year.
it's really hot, and having a nice cold can of water.
Yeah, because it's still a little hot, even though it's not as bad as it could be out there. As we're seeing those temperatures mid to lower 90s across the area. So at least we're out of triple digits. That's the way I look at it.
It's not much better, though.
You don't think so, but I think it's a ton better. It's still pool weather, though. It's still summer in West Texas. And we could see an isolated thunderstorm thrown in each afternoon. I think the better chance is going to hold off until next week. But overall, though, we are going to be looking at pretty quiet conditions coming up. Just again, like we saw in that video from Kahoma, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water when dealing with this heat.
I think I'm ready for a beach vacation.
I think we all
I need to be out of this heat. It's just not what I need right now. I'm ready for fall. So if we could make that happen a little faster, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.